Well, hello there. Welcome back to my channel. This is the Unintentional ASMR Book Club. If you're new here, welcome. You're just in time for the bedtime stories. Tonight's book is called Light to the Hills, and this is the third reading of this book. It's a continuation of the second reading. So, without further ado, let's continue. Sass smelled the rain now, the moist tang of the earth as it opened its anxious, thirsty throat. The rain and something else. The spray of light freckles danced on her nose as it picked up the spicy scent. Knew it, she said, marching toward the telltale leaves. Mitten, oak, and hickory, she recited, already digging out the root of the familiar plant. Her mamma would be pleased. She could make some spiced tea or keep it on hand for a salve. It was sassafras, the curious sapling that grew 3 different shaped leaves on one tree. She held the unearthed plant in her hand, shifted the strap of her sang bag on her shoulder, and turned toward home, the patter of raindrops faster now. Sass used larger saplings as handholds to steady herself as she made her way across the slope above the holler. Thunder roared again, and it didn't matter how long since the lightning. The storm was already upon her. The leaves she'd crunched through on the way to the sang patch turned soft and slippery with rain, and more than once Sass struggled to keep her footing. Home was still a mile or more off. Sass sighed, wishing she could hitch a ride on Finn's back and save herself the trouble of scraping her hands raw. She could hear his voice in her head. What do you think the good Lord gave you legs for? He'd tease her if he were here. Sass fixed her eyes on the far end of the slope. Once she got there, the land would level off into a clearing beyond, and she could make a run for it, rain or no. A sound, and Sass knew before she saw it that she'd come upon a rattler. It sounded like the gourd full of dried beans they gave her sister Hiccup to play with when she was a baby. Sass froze mid-step, her head swiveling as her eyes swept the leafy ground to find the cunning rascal. Just there to her left, it lay coiled downslope from where she walked. She clapped and stomped her feet, and issuing her own warning, she hoped the snake would heed. Its tongue darted in and out of its smiley snake mouth, and she narrowed her eyes at its smug insistence that she step aside. Sass took 2 careful steps uphill, trying to give it a wide berth and get back on her way. Her too tight boots had grown muddy, and the wet leaves gave little traction. She scrabbled, trying to hold on to a branch, a rock, or anything that would let her gain purchase and stay put, instead of tumbling downhill into the rocky creek bed below. One more step and she'd be far enough past the snake that she could continue on. Her slipping shoes rained a small avalanche of pebbles and leaves onto the serpent. Hateful thing. It coiled tighter, the rattles whirring like Mama's tambourine by the fire after supper. Sass stretched her right foot forward in slow motion. One more step. Lightning flashed and glinted against the black eyes of the rattler. She raised her cane pole, ready to bring it down upon the serpent's head if it struck. Alright, so that was an interesting story. Somewhere in the woods, The Adventures of Sass. I like it. If you do like that reading, give it a like on YouTube and share it with someone who you think would enjoy listening to this reading. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. What are you doing? Just subscribe it, it's free. But anyway, I wish you well, and I wish you have a great night, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.